Chaim once said, he spoke, it was on Rosh Hashanah. What is the differentiator between a human being and any other living creature? The koach habechira, the ability to make choices. God endowed us with an ability that we could rein in on ourselves, not to do the wrong, and we could actually push ourselves to do the right thing. Although there's inertia not to do something which is not within our natural makeup, we're not inclined to spirituality, but a person who chooses to force himself, he can, and eventually he can condition himself, then naturally you do something which is not natural. The unnatural becomes natural, and the natural becomes unnatural. That's when you spiritualize your life. So he asked the question, the Gemara says in 2 locations, based on a pasuk Tehillim, that if not for siyata d'shmaya, if not for God's continuous divine assistance, it's impossible to survive the Yetzer Hara. You couldn't survive him. He'd run rings around you, and he'd outwit you, and he'll convince you what's wrong is right and what's right is wrong. So he says, but if man was endowed with bechira, with choice, free choice, why did God create such a fierce, evil inclination that we don't have choice? Why don't we have choice? What do we need his intervention to allow us to survive? So he explained, based on what the Chafetz Chaim cites here of the Gemara, it says that sins are like thin strands, which they're multiplied, multiples and multiples. That thin strand, which is meaningless, becomes like a cable, like a thick rope that you could actually harness a horse onto a wagon, or a plow onto an ox. That's how thick it becomes. Initially, when we start, you have control over your life. You can contend with all the inclinations. What happens if you violate multiple times? It's like creating addiction. God forbid a person is addicted to some foreign substance in his body. Whenever he craves, he has no control. We violate multiple times in our lives that we've already introduced into our being, into our systems, endless transgressions, all the consequences of that. We've already created an addiction to that. At that level, the evil inclination, he's in the driver's seat. He drives us. He dictates to us. So if that's the case, it's too late. We might as well give up. That, David Melech says, the Jew never gives up. Because God will intervene, that if you have an interest in doing better, God will give you that inner ability, that strength, that clarity, to take initiative to do tshuva and to recognize the wrong. So this is similar because initially, that's what he said. Initially, we start off, we could contend with this issue. But once we failed multiple times, too many times, we've already created this negative inclination within us that continuously craves